Hi. Well, you've made it through the first class. I gave you a lot of information, and your homework is to read the booklets, the Listening to Children booklets, one by one. You don't have to read them fast, but they will help fill in some of the information that I don't have time to give in these video segments in order to keep them at a reasonable length for you. So read the booklets and begin doing special time with your child. Begin doing play listening with your child or children. And see if you can find the help that you need so that special time is uninterrupted special time. So for some parents that might take 3 or 4 weeks to find someone who can come over and give you a hand once a week so that someone's taking care of the other children while you do special time with one after the other after the other. It will make a huge difference in how safe your children feel and in their ability to access the healing process so they can heal from the hurts that have gathered in their relationship with their siblings. So get those connection plumping activities going and start a listening partnership. The ways that you can find a listening partner are to ask a friend, to ask someone that is not quite a friend but an acquaintance that you think you like or that you respect, someone from a parent group that you belong to, someone from your church or your temple. Sometimes a relative can play this role, a well-chosen relative. In general, we advise people not to try it with your spouse because the things that are going to trouble you the most, that you really need to talk about and release emotional tension about, are almost always things that your spouse is also involved in and worried about or upset about. And the one upset kind of triggers the other, and it makes it very difficult to listen to one another. So our advice is to learn to do the listening partnership with someone who's not directly involved in your family. And after 2 or 3 or 4 months, when it's really working for you well and you've gained some access to being able to find your feelings when you have the opportunity and shed them well, that's when it's time to come back and begin to do short listening partnerships with your partner. And there are sort of special guidelines for doing that. I wouldn't start with your partner right away unless you have a really exceptional relationship. Most of us don't have the advantage of having. So, but start a listening partnership. Just, it doesn't have to succeed the first time. We are all very clunky when we're trying to try something new in a relationship with someone else. So expect it to feel hard. Expect it to feel like it felt when you were in middle school and trying to go to a dance and extremely self-conscious and worried about, were you okay? Were you saying the right thing? How was it going to go? What if the person rejected you? In general, reaching out to someone to do this kind of listening brings up lots of feelings from the times when we were reaching out to figure out who we were when we were at a vulnerable age. So expect that it won't be the easiest thing you ever did. It may be the smartest thing you ever did. So the really smart things and really rewarding adventures are not necessarily easy adventures. And the fact that it's hard doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it. It just means that there are issues to look at, and you can look at them in your listening partnership. It's like if you feel really shy when you get there and you feel like, well, I don't want to tell you anything, then that's the thing to say in your listening partnership. It's like, I don't know you, so I don't feel like I want to tell you anything. What if you think badly of me? What if you tell stories about me to other people? And then all of a sudden it pops into your mind, oh, when I was in 5th grade, I told a secret to a friend, and the next day the whole class knew it, and I was so embarrassed. I was mortified, and the whole rest of that school year was ruined. And then you can have a cry about that. It's like there's a reason that you feel these things. Something happened to make this uncomfortable, to make being with another innocent, good, well-intentioned human being feel so difficult. And trace it back, talk about it, notice how you feel about it. And so it's like you can really be powerful in the present situation if you have access to offloading feelings that sit in the past for you. So that's what your listening partnership is for, is to notice what's going on for you, to tell somebody about it. And if they don't respect you, if they interrupt, if they bust in with their own story, remind them not to. And if they really can't follow those directions, say, thank you, that was a really good experiment. I don't think I'm going to do it any longer with you, but I really appreciate you giving it a good try. And move on to ask someone else. The first listening partner may not be your best, but it will certainly be a good try, and you'll learn something from it. I want to end this segment with just a little story to give you another picture of what using these listening tools can do to give your children a very powerful kind of emotional intelligence. A dad who's a longtime friend of mine has 4-year-old twins now, and he does a lot of special time and play listening, a lot of play listening with them. It's like often he's the one that is going after them and falls flat on the carpet, because he can't catch them, or catches their foot and they wiggle away, or just wants them really badly and they won't come, and he sits there all, but please, and they laugh and laugh and laugh, and then he tries to catch them and he can't. So they get to play the powerful role a lot. And one time he was in the park, and they had one little girl, it's boy and girl twins. There was one little girl that they were both playing with. They get along with her quite well. And they both are pretty strong and pretty agile. I will tell you that doing lots of play listening gives children a tremendous sense of their bodies. It really gives them a lot of experience, moving experience, trying things, and it builds their confidence in really very striking ways. So they both are really very strong and very confident physically, and she wasn't so much. And so they started streaking up this hill in the park. They were running up to the top of the hill and laughing, and she is trying to run along, but she was beginning to wilt. It's like, and it just, all this happened in like 3 seconds. She's beginning to wilt, trying to run up the hill, and they looked back and they saw that she wasn't making it, and that they were going to be first and she was going to be last. And they didn't even look at each other. They both slowed down and made it so that she was the one that reached the top of the hill first, feeling good about herself. It's like this whole disappointment of, I'm not good enough, I can't do what they can do, just changed in an instant. They just pulled themselves back and let her win. It's just such a heartwarming thing to see as a parent, that your child knows how to make play work with other children, that they don't have to win, they don't have to be victorious, because at home they get to be victorious, they get to do this with you. So with their friends, they can give, they can shift, they can make it work for everybody. So these tools, special time and play listening, really help your child build a foundation of safety that lets them be very flexible in their lives with other children. So I hope that gives you hope that things can really move forward in your family. Start with special time, start with play listening, start with listening partnership for yourself. You really go at it. You don't need to go too much farther in this course until you've got those things well in hand, till you've got laughter rolling in your family, till you've got some support behind you. Enjoy.